this week? That is what we ask every Friday at 2 o'clock. And you get to think about, hey, what did, all this stuff is going on. What did I learn this week, right? Because so often we're crashing in, our days are crashing in from day to day to day, into the week, into the end of the week, into the weekend. And we'd never take that moment to reflect on what we've actually learned. So good, I can see already we have our special guest from today. Jacqueline Goldfinger is ready. So Jacqueline, give me just a minute, I'll have you on and join us in just a second. But this is the time where you can collect your thoughts, share below something that you have learned. If you are thinking about this later on, you're watching this later on, and you want to leave a post about it, just use the hashtag WLTW so that way we can find it and we can learn from you and see the smarty pants that you are. So my name is Annie Schiffman. I am the founder of Downstage Media. And at Downstage Media, we give performing artists, actors, dancers, singers, directors, choreographers, playwrights, who are overwhelmed with social media, a plan of what to post so that way they can connect with their audiences, not just on stage, but online as well. And so I usually talk about things that are in the social media marketing space through the lens of the performing artist. But then we also have great guests. Like today, we have Jacqueline Goldfinger on. She's a playwright. She's a dramaturg. She started this really neat organization called Page by Page that she's going to tell you about, for writers especially, which you're going to want to hear all about. So we're going to have her jump on. So let's actually get Jacqueline on here right now. Finger coming on. This is always dicey. As you know, I think Instagram is the big drama queen of the social media world. So here we go. Hey, Jacqueline, how are you?
Good. How are you, Annie?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So first, why don't you share with us? Oh, look, we've got some people on already. Team Dave Johnson is on.
Hey, Dave.
There we go. So we've got some people on today. You've got your fan club is here. So Jacqueline, first, we'd love to hear what is it that you learned this week, and share that with us, and then we'll go from there. So why don't you get started?
Sure. So I started a project called Page by Page. And I started it because I'm a teaching artist. I've taught all over the country. I now teach playwriting at University of Pennsylvania. And one of the things that I've found in my travels around the world, literally I've taught in Lisbon, I've taught in London, is that there are playwrights and writers everywhere. It's not just New York and LA and London. And often those writers want to connect with a greater community while improving their craft, but don't have the opportunity to do so, especially if they live in rural areas. So Page by Page is a monthly magazine. You get it in your email. It's written for playwrights, by playwrights, and it gives you a couple of writing prompts for the month. It gives you a couple of new plays that have just come out that you should read because they're on the cutting edge of American theater. Every month we feature a very popular professional playwright who gives you their advice. Mm-hmm. We give you a little bit of theater history. So it's an easily to digest monthly magazine in email form that just helps keep supporting your writing and connect you to a larger community. And then we have both online and in-person events occasionally where our subscribers can connect. So it's so great.
Cool. Yeah. That sounds amazing. So playwrights, listen up. You're going to want to get involved with Page by Page. So you can go to JacquelineGoldfinger.com. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put that in the comments below. But Jacqueline Goldfinger is kind of spelled exactly how you would assume Jacqueline Goldfinger is spelled. Yeah. And so you'll be able to find out more about that. So tell us, Jacqueline, what did you learn this week?
The biggest thing that I have learned, so we're about 5 months into Page by Page, and I'm continually getting fantastic feedback from our readers. And the biggest thing I have learned is that while we as artists often focus our time and energy on creating this amazing art, which is wonderful, we're not always as focused on how do we make sure that art is accessible to the people we want to share it with. So one of the things that I have learned this week is both for Page by Page, but also me as a playwright, is how do I make the work that I want to get the work that I want to do to the people who want to see it. So, for example, in Philly, we have, which is where I'm based, we have a program that does short plays during lunch breaks in commercial sections, so in commercial areas of the city. So like people can bring their lunch, or lunch will be served, and you'll get to see a 45-minute play. For page by page, that often means, because we have so few theater publishers in the country, it often means, hey, here's this great play that everyone wants to read. No one can read it now because it is not published yet. So where are the other avenues where you can look up this writer's work and read it? So finding ways to get art to the people in a way that's accessible and fits into the contemporary schedule is something I've been thinking and learning a lot about.
I love that. I love the idea of that. Because at first when you said to make it accessible to an audience, to a wider audience, I didn't know if you meant sort of in tone, like making the what you're saying more mainstream, but you're saying to get as creative as you want, be the artist that you are. It's just figure out ways that you can go to where the people are, right? So instead of a Blockbuster kind of a frame where you would have to go to Blockbuster and get your movie, now it's more of a Netflix, Hulu streaming kind of an idea where now it's going to come to you. And so how can you make your art come to your audience? I love that.
Absolutely. And there are actually some really cool companies that are also working with online tools to do multi-city. So basically you buy a ticket through a PayPal or a Venmo, you tune in online, and there will be performers performing in different cities that are all streaming at the same time, and they're talking to each other. So like I just watched a performance for $5 through Venmo, that I paid the ticket through Venmo, that was actors in LA, New York, and Philadelphia, all streaming themselves. So they had the play, they'd written it. So it was a performance, but it was a performance done in multi-cities at the same time through streaming. So there are a lot of incredible ways that theater artists are getting their work out there these days.
I love that. That is so cool. So great. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. And again, go to JacquelineGoldfinger.com so you can find out more about Page by Page, get involved with that community of writers and playwrights for monthly prompts, monthly inspiration, playwriting tips and tricks, all of that right there for you. So, you know, something that I learned this week, Facebook had its community summit event. And I am a big advocate of using the Facebook inbox to avoid having those weird interactions where you respond, you think you're responding as your brand on Facebook, but you're actually responding as yourself. And that's like super embarrassing. And then you're like, oh, wait, no, now I have to delete that. And so I'm a big proponent of the Facebook inbox, which I've talked about for a while. I also really like Facebook inbox because it allows you to check all of your Instagram comments as well. So you can check all your Facebook messages, all of your Facebook comments, and all of your Instagram comments all at once. But for the longest time, you couldn't check your Instagram DMs. And that was annoying because now I had to go to another place to check all that, right? Because I like to say, if a Broadway performer can stage door after a 2-show day and a 2-show music, or in a 2-act musical, we can be thoughtful about every single comment on our Instagram and Facebook feeds, right? So it's so I want to make sure that it's able for people to respond really quickly to their audience, no matter what channel they're doing it. So Facebook just announced in their Facebook Community Summit event that they're going to make the Instagram direct messages accessible through the Facebook inbox as well. So wow. I know I don't know exactly when that's launching yet. It's on the horizon. So I would say probably in the next 3 to 6 months, but yeah, so that's just a great little tip, because I find especially on Instagram, it's so easy to miss comments that go by because you're getting so many notifications about people who've liked your posts. So there you go. That's what I learned this week. So we would love to hear from you. What did you learn this week? If you think about this later on, you want to create a post about it, use the hashtag WLTW on Twitter and on Instagram. We'll be able to find you that way. And again, check out JacquelineGoldfinger.com. We've got all the notes from this. Everything that we're talking about today is going to be up. Go to downstage.media/blog. There's already a blog post up there because Jacqueline was so good at telling me ahead of time what she learned. So it's already there for you. And of course, check out next week's WLTW at 2 o'clock. I forgot the name of our guest. I don't have it handy, but of course, I'll let you know